Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is a Monday. It is National Beer Lovers Day. Oh, by the way, September the 7th. I forgot to say. National Beer Lovers Day. Neither Snow Nor Rain Day. National Grandma Moses Day. National Acorn Squash Day. National Salami Day. National Grateful Patient Day. National New Hampshire Day. And National Labor Day.
A lot going on
A lot of folks celebrating
today.
that one. A lot of folks have the day off in America right now because they're celebrating Labor Day. So celebrate wisely, have some fun. Now, here's the thing I got to say. It's also a Movie Star Monday. And you might think, well, with it being Labor Day, we're going to have like a star that's not quite as cool. Going to find some, minor star that you've never heard of. Not the case at all.
Okay.
We have Peter Facinelli. You might remember him from a little program called Twilight. Remember those movies?
I do.
He was in that. He's in a bunch of stuff. He's got a new film out. It's called Vanished. I'm super excited to visit with him. It's all coming up in just a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new study found that generosity will help you live longer. Did you know that?
I'm sure it does.
By-
It makes you feel better and it makes you happy.
So
And
by being nice to other people, you actually benefit too.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. So for that very reason, I'm going to let you give me some money right now, Heidi.
oh, aren't you
As much as you want to give me. I'm just trying to help you. I'm
generous.
going to try to help you. So, no, I don't really need any money. But a new study, again, found generosity will help you live longer. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A lot of the time when we talk about stories on here, it's somebody that's either drinking or they're doing like drugs like marijuana, things like that. It's a different drug today. Teens across the country are partaking in a challenge that encourages each other to take as much allergy medicine as needed to hallucinate. Some TikTokers are taking a dozen or more pills before, quote, tripping out. Johnson & Johnson is urging parents to be aware of the Benadryl TikTok after a 15-year-old girl died from this.
Wow.
And put 3 Texas teens in the hospital. Ingesting large doses of Benadryl can actually result in seizures and serious heart problems. So they're saying,
if you
hey,
see these stupid challenges, just
do
don't do them.
Yeah, and this is an opportunity if you've got kiddos that are on TikTok. Again, a 15-year-old girl died from this. I've got the story in the show notes if you want to read it. johnandheidishow.com is where you'll find that. But have the discussion, even if you go, oh, my kids would never do that. Because there are things growing up that my parents thought we would never do, and we did it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, hey, did you know you could do this? And you're like, why would you do that? You guys are smarter than that. I'm like, yeah, but we're kids. So, I don't know. Just don't do it. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Beyonce and Jay-Z were seen sailing around the Hamptons with Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey last Tuesday. So I wonder what's going on there.
I have no idea.
That's what you call hobnobbing. I did not get the invite, by the way. Page 6 has confirmed that Brad Pitt is dating German supermodel Nicole Paterlowski.
I'm glad to see he's moving on. That's good.
They were seen out having dinner. I probably said her last name wrong, and I apologize, but I'm sure she's just adorable. Bravo is opening to bringing Dorinda Melody back to Real Housewives of New York. So they're saying, hey, maybe that's what we do to fill this. So they're looking at maybe that. And then Kevin Hart revealed that he had tested positive for COVID-19 earlier this year. So
Okay.
he's better now, thank goodness, I hope, because it says that happened earlier in the year. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. I don't know if you've ever heard of these people before. Amazon?
Okay.
Retail place?
Yeah, once in a while. Once or twice.
You've probably heard of them. Anyway, retail giant Amazon.com took a big leap toward delivering goods from the sky by becoming one of only a handful of companies certified by U.S. government now to operate as a drone airline. Amazon said last Monday, so a week ago, that the FAA designated Amazon Prime Air as an air carrier, which will allow the company to begin their first commercial deliveries in the U.S. under a trial program. Amazon and their competitors must still clear some regulatory and technical hurdles before packages can routinely be dropped at people's homes. You know who the others are that are also doing this?
No.
There's two others. UPS has already signed on saying we want to deliver by drone.
Sure.
And Wing has signed on. And you're thinking, Wing, never heard of them. Well, they're a subsidiary of Alphabet Inc. You know who that is?
Nope.
That's the same company that owns a little thing called Google. So the Google company also they have a thing called Wing. And I think their concept is, well, we don't want to tie it to this. We're going to have it like a different brand, and then hopefully we can deliver for a lot of people, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, they all have also
I'm
received
not sure
their
how I
approval.
feel about the
Having
whole
drones
drone
just flying
thing.
through the sky. I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That does feel like the future, though.
I would think that it would be very easy to just, what if somebody just shoots those down and takes the packages? And
It'll
I
happen.
mean, it just seems to me
I'm
a
not
lot
saying
less
that's
safe.
the right thing to do. It's a bad idea to do that, but you know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Health experts are predicting that a growing number of families will be forced to spend Thanksgiving over Zoom for safety reasons. By the way, this has nothing to do with COVID. This has everything to do with the fact that this is after the election. So I'm just kidding. No, they're saying it is for COVID reasons. Elon Musk is now richer than Mark Zuckerberg. So Zuckerberg owns a thing called Facebook. Elon Musk has a thing called Tesla. Well, the Tesla stock has surged by, are you ready for this percentage?
Okay.
475%.
Oh.
His worth now, Elon Musk, Mr. Tesla, is worth $111 billion. Mark Zuckerberg,
Wow.
he only has $110 billion. So that's that's a lot more billion than we have. That's $110 billion more than I have. So it's a lot. Head of the U.S. FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, says coronavirus vaccines may be given an emergency approval before the end of phase 3 trials. So saying, hey, if we can fast track this thing, if that's going to help. So that's kind of maybe good news. There's some people that are concerned about that, though. Restaurant goers were lucky to escape unhurt after a car crashed into an outdoor dining setup in New York City. They had like a little setup on the sidewalk. Patrons were seated in the street, and it was at a place, a top-notch Italian eatery, Del Zia 92. Anyway, nobody was hurt, thank goodness, but a car crashed into the outdoor dining area. So that could have been bad.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes indeed. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. It's a Movie Star Monday, and our guest today, Peter Facinelli, has become quite popular from a little series called Twilight. You guys did several movies in that series, and boy, talk about a blockbuster. Now you've got a new program, The Vanished. First of all, Peter, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited to have you on the program. Now, the movie Twilight and that whole series, everything that came with that, did so well. But you've been a part of a ton of stuff over the last couple of decades. When you're out in the wild, what is it that people recognize you from the most?
You know, I've done so many roles over the 25 years I've been acting that it's so hard to tell. I mean, I sometimes try to read people because I've done a little bit of everything. So I've done like action shows, I've done drama, and I've done sci-fi. So, but sometimes they throw me. I remember meeting this big burly guy, and he said, "Hey, I'm a big fan of yours," and I said, "Oh, thanks." And I tried to figure out like what he would like, and I said, "Do you like Fastlane?" Which is like a kind of Fast and the Furious, like macho TV series I did with Bill Bellamy back in the day. And he said, "No, I loved you on Nurse Jackie." And I wouldn't have pegged you for that.
That's awesome. You did not look like a Nurse Jackie guy.
Yeah, I was like, I can't imagine him going, "I can't go out tonight, boys. I got to wear Nurse Jackie."
Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Everybody's allowed to love what they love, so I don't judge.
Now, you've done a whole lot of different things over the course of the time you've been acting, but the new project, The Vanished, this is, according to what I'm reading, the darkest project you've been a part of. Tell me a little more about this, and this is near and dear to you.
Well, I wrote this one, and I directed it as well, so it's more of a personal piece for me, but it's about two parents played by Thomas Jane and Anne Heche. They go to this RV park and with their 10-year-old daughter, and within the first 10 minutes, their daughter goes missing. So it becomes every parent's worst nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
It's an exciting movie because you kind of along for the ride with the parents, and you kind of see the movie through them and trying to figure out who took the kid. Like, so it's kind of like, in a way, kind of a mystery movie or like a Hitchcock thriller where you're trying to figure it out. So extra points to anybody who can figure out who took the kid in the movie. Excited for people to watch it.
So the timing on this worked out really, really well because this is a topic right now that's trending all over the place on social media, and it's something that does happen in the real world, and this is an opportunity through your film to shine the light on this a little bit more.
Well, I remember I used to have an RV. I used to take my daughter when she was 5 on RV trips, and it actually came from a trip that I took this movie because I drove to this RV park and I was paying the guy at the front desk, and all of a sudden I heard a gunshot and I looked up and he said, "Oh, don't worry, there's a prison a couple of miles down the road." He said 2 or 3 gunshots is normal. They run drills, but anything more than that, come running to the front desk.
Oh,
didn't sleep at all.
Is that all?
I kept thinking, well, yeah, I was like, what if a convict gets escaped, and what if my daughter goes missing? And how would I find her in the middle of these woods? Is she looking for a needle in a haystack?
Yeah.
So all those questions kind of started the seeds for this movie.
And you got a couple other projects here as well. The Ravine and 13 Minutes. Are those both kind of in the process right now? Is that right?
Those 2 movies I acted in, and they're going to be probably released either later this year or the beginning of next year.
Very cool. And The Vanished is out right now.
If you're looking for a good movie to watch this weekend, and I know last weekend I was looking and I thought, well, geez, I've seen everything on Netflix and I've seen everything on Apple, and so I'm excited right now because there's not a lot of other stuff, new stuff coming out. So, well,
that's the perfect timing for Vanished to pop up. So, Peter, where can we find this? Which platforms can we find this new movie, The Vanished?
Any VOD platform, anything you rent a movie on, iTunes, Amazon Prime, cable sometimes has places to rent the movie. And it's playing in some theaters, too. I'm not sure. I'll have a list on it on my Twitter and also my Instagram, at Peter Facinelli. I'll put a list of theaters. But you don't have to wait for theaters. You can watch it on your TV in your own home. And have something new to watch. So
whatever is more convenient for you, it's going to make it simple. And I'll throw a link to that in the show notes. Peter, thanks again for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Hope you enjoyed the movie.
Absolutely. Again, the new movie out right now. It is called The Vanished. It's available through video on demand. Maybe in some theaters in the neighborhood as well. You can check local listings for that. But I'm going to throw a link to all of the info in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
This is actually kind of a sad thing. Captain E.J. Smith, he was the captain of the Titanic. There's a quote from him from before the Titanic voyage, and his quote is, "I've never had an accident worth talking about," because he was like the safest captain on the sea.
Right.
And he was driving, the captain of the unsinkable ship. But when they were doing a story with him leading up to that voyage, have you ever had any accidents? He said, "I've never had an accident worth talking about." Well, then he had one in 1912.
That was definitely worth talking about.
It was. It was sad. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world as I spin the globe, and we're going to stop it right here. China. Dateline China. China has fired a missile into the South Sea as a warning to the United States after one of the U.S. spy planes entered a no-fly zone without permission. So, thank goodness that didn't turn into anything. That's from like a week ago, because that could have certainly not been good. I'm not saying it's ever good when there's people shooting missiles or any of that kind of thing, but that could have been way worse. I have a link to the story, by the way. It's in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Detroit woman has been declared dead and shipped off to a funeral home, only to shock the workers there when they found out that she was still alive. The woman, not identified in the story, was sent to a funeral home by her family when she was found unresponsive in her apartment, then declared dead by paramedics.
Oh, wow.
They tried to resuscitate her, but it didn't work. That's when workers at the mortuary made the startling discovery.
Oh, my gosh.
She was still breathing. They said, while it is our practice not to comment on open investigations, we can confirm that on Sunday, August 23rd, 2020, we received a call to pick up a woman who was deceased. The funeral home then said in a statement, upon arrival at the funeral home, our staff confirmed that she was breathing and then called EMS.
Wow, can you imagine?
The woman was transported back to the hospital, and the hospital declined to release any info on this incident.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like everything's going to work out okay, hopefully. Because she's, out of the funeral home and into the hospital. But I hope everything comes together nicely for the family. That just what an awful weird thing to have happen. That's why it's today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A New Jersey farmer says some of the animals in his petting zoo were terrorized by teens. They allegedly broke into the property and abused them by putting lipstick on a miniature pony. Ambus Farm, beloved mainstay in the area, and its market and petting zoo are a big draw. But Jimmy Amba says that he'll have to keep the zoo closed on Monday. This is from a week ago, by the way, so it's not today, but it was last Monday. As police were investigating the trespassing, and a veterinarian examines all the animals. All the gates were opened and all the pens. A couple of the animals we couldn't even get close to. They were still pretty skittish. He was tipped off to the disturbance after getting a Snapchat photo of what appeared to be a teenage girl riding one of his donkeys.
Oh, my gosh.
He says that he turned the surveillance video over and all the information that he has to the police. It's an open investigation, and it's just a sad thing. Why would you do that? Why'd you go terrorize these animals?
No.
That is not
okay.
a fun thing to do. It's not a good night out. This is not a positive activity, kids.
Poor things.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to today's Moment of Duh. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for Fake News or Florida. At this point in the program, I read a little headline. My beautiful bride, Heidi, heavy on the word beautiful here. My beautiful bride, Heidi, has to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fake news or Florida? A Sarasota mom was arrested for indecent exposure after she mooned the principal at her daughter's school to protest a clothing policy. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say Florida.
No, it's fake news. But if she did, I would ask if the two of you were related. So honestly, I don't think you would ever do that. But if somebody did do that, I bet that story would get shared with you.
Most likely, yeah.
It's just the kind of thing that, your type of humor for darn sure. This has been Fake News or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think it's good news, comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Here's a headline. Entire football team shows up to clean up a paralyzed man's yard that was damaged by a storm. This is a cool story. A paralyzed man who had his yard damaged by a storm recently didn't really know what he was going to do to clean everything up. But then an entire football team showed up to help out. Ray Drake, he's been paralyzed since 1989. He's cared for by his sisters. When the storm wreaked havoc in the Des Moines area home, he had no idea what he was going to do. But that's when his sisters reached out to one of the high school friends and said, hey, can I borrow a chainsaw? When he showed up, he had an entire football team with him.
That's awesome.
And he said, I saw some pictures and thought, you might need more than just one chainsaw. In just 2 hours, 30 members of the Roosevelt Rough Riders cut and mowed the downed trees and got them away from the home. Cut and moved. I don't know why I'm having...
Mowed down?
No, it says moved.
Oh.
They cut and moved the downed trees. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, tears flowed from his eyes and the sisters as well. They said, we're blessed, absolutely blessed. And there's a video here if you want to see the video rather than just hearing me stumble through the story. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.